What's up, guys? Welcome to the 182nd episode of the Grow My DJ Business podcast. My name is Cream.
Gary W. here.
Let's just get right into it, man. We're starting this pod with heavy hearts for sure. It's been a rough July, to say the least. We just lost NYC legend DJ Ammo this week, unfortunately. And along with some personal family stuff, it's just really affected me greatly, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you just lost your uncle, and condolences obviously to your family and your cousin, who's close to a lot of our DJs. And then unfortunately, right after all the services with your family, we go into Tuesday and we get hit with this news like first thing in the morning. It was absolutely shocking, obviously, and it I think it hit us hard. Obviously, we've been working closer with Ammo as a company. I mean, obviously, as we'll get into, he was always there to reach out to for advice and direction, and because he's just a veteran of the game, even though he's our age, just a veteran of the game on a high level. And but we were starting to work with him more closely. He was working at two of our venues more often, and I think he was starting to use you again. And we'll go into how you guys started off together and how you started your career. So it was just shocking, and I kind of like look back at our text messages, and we had just talked to him like a week and a half ago, and right before he traveled to Japan, and then this awful news. So
Yeah,
let's kind of.
It's tough, man. Sorry. He's got a family. He's married. He has a young kid, and honestly, like Ammo changed a lot once he became a family man, and like he was doing everything for them. And when I think about that, it really hurts a lot because it sucks. I've lost a dad older, and his daughter's not going to have him around, and it just really sucks. And I don't. It just hurts,
Yeah, for sure. I think that this will be an interesting conversation to hear, kind of like, because I know that he really gave you a lot of breaks as a really young DJ in the New York City in the New York City circuit. I didn't really work with him at all as a young DJ. So I know that you have some stories, and you could kind of be a testament for all that he's done for a lot of these other DJs from then on. I mean, right up until very recently.
Yeah, it's been I've just sort of sat back. I haven't really been very active on social to begin with, and I've been on there and reading all the tributes and all the stories. And what really stands out for me is just like how many people Ammo has helped or mentored or connected. He was a connector of people, He connected young DJs. He broke young DJs. He gave so many people an opportunity. And I'm sure many of you who are listening have similar stories where like Ammo broke you in New York, right? Ammo broke me in New York. First person to ever book me in New York City, and continue to book me in New York City, and was a big part of helping me grow my DJ brand and my name to a point where I didn't need Ammo anymore, which was kind of cool, So, I mean, that's what's really stood out to me. And I haven't been able to put that into words. I really wanted to do this podcast and just see what came out of my mouth because like I said, it's been really hard, and it's been cool to read all the stories and just see how many people that he's really helped. And that's what I'll really always think about when I think about Ammo, is just the number of people that he's touched, he's mentored, he's affected in some way, from Camilo all the way down to the baby DJ who's just starting right now. He's helped and had conversations and worked with all those people. So
it's interesting because our business has very similar parallels to what Ammo did for all younger DJs, right? And I didn't have a mentor or somebody to show me the ropes or should give me any kind of advice when I was coming up, but I feel like Ammo was kind of that person for you. And so my question is, how much of an effect did that have on the way that you run Get Down DJ Group and the way you mentor young DJs?
Yeah, Ammo really helped me as far as on the business side of things and understanding how to show value and how to make an impact, even if you're just the opener, even if you're just the closer. And he was a mentor. I didn't have a ton of mentors, but Ammo early on was one of my DJ mentors where a venue owner or someone would hit me up and ask me for something, and I'd say, hey, what do you think I should do here? Because I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So he helped me work through a lot of that stuff. I mean, honestly, him and Carlos Melange were the two when I was a baby DJ that just really helped me in those situations.
Right.
I could really remember like long conversations with each of those guys about situations and what do I do and how do I get into this place. And um, so yeah, Ammo was always there, and Ammo, really looked out for me. He actually worked with my mom at Richfield High School. He was like a teacher's aide, and my mom really liked Ammo a lot, and Ammo really liked my mom. He used to call her Mama Cream. He would be, how's Mama Cream? Like every time I talked to him, tell Mama Cream I said what's up. Like every time. And I think their relationship and working together kind of like motivated him to help me on the DJ side of things because they just really got along. So
he talks about that, and he talks about like going to work every day and working with those kids and
he loved those kids,
special
man.
needs kids. That's a passion. You have to
loves those
absolutely
kids.
love to do that. But like going to work with special needs kids is exhausting in itself. And then he would go out 4 or 5 nights a week, whether it be DJing and or networking. He talks about it if you go to our cover page right on our YouTube page here. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube, we have a recap video from a 2020 meetup that we had, and there's some really good advice that Ammo gives on that recap video. On that, it's like a little documentary of the meetup, and he actually opens up the panel with some really great advice. And then there's a one-on-one interview that we posted a portion of that on our social media page as a tribute. But I would tell you guys to go listen to that. There's some really great information there that he had shared. It's just a nice thing to see.
Yeah, man. I mean, Ammo started super young, and he ran in a lot of the same circles with some of my friends who would go out. I met him, I think, initially at like Veranda or Greenhouse or like one of those places because he was the DJ. And my friends who were going out used to go hang out with Ammo all the time. And, that was like, yo, get in, we have a bottle, come hang out. And like, that was my first real experience in nightlife, was just going to hang out and hear Ammo DJ. He used to have a fucking dreadlock, like long ass hair. And like,
stop.
He had braids. He had braids and not dreads. He had braids. And that's how I met him, which is crazy. But
yeah, I mean, when we were like just trying to break in and like level up, it was like, it was Ammo, and it was, Herb at the time, and G Kid, and who else was running this? Yanni
on the Jersey side of things,
on the Jersey side, yeah. So like it's just kind of flooded back a lot of memories of us trying to kind of level up in on the Jersey side.
Yeah, man. Even more recently, like Ammo fought to get me to go play Nebula. Like he knows that's the lane that I'm going down, and he literally texts me and the booker at least 7 times. At least, like, yo, let's lock Cream. Let's get him on this date. They wanted to book me for Memorial Day weekend. He's like, no, not on a holiday. That's going to be a whack Saturday, whatever. Like, book him on a regular night. Like, even to this day, Ammo was fighting for me. So,
yeah,
gonna miss the guy a lot.
Yeah. Huge loss. And, if anybody who opened social media that was part of the nightlife industry in New Jersey or New York or anywhere pretty much in the general vicinity could tell the impact that he had
all
on
over the
industry.
Place.
Wild.
I think what I really like to think about is like we came full circle where I kind of came into the industry and he was booking me and he helped me and he gave me a shot. And now as we've grown Get Down, we've been able to book Ammo more regularly here. And, we were putting him on to some gigs here in the last year or 2 years or so. And, that always feels good to return a favor for somebody who I looked up to and who helped me so much in my career to be able to then help book that person, that means a lot.
Yeah, that was a surreal experience to really have him be like, I want to, I want to work with you guys a little more. And it was like, oh, that's kind of awesome. It's really nice to hear that. And, you just kind of you get to look at your business in a different way. And I don't know, it was awesome.
I think the other thing too was for him to finally sort of recognize me as a peer was like really cool thing too, where, we had talked about like, yo, Cream, I know we sort of run in different lanes, but how can we utilize our relationships when we bring DJs into this market where we can like use our venues to really like show somebody a great time and come to New York and play for a weekend. And that could potentially open up other markets for us. And like, that was like the level that we were talking on here in the last couple months. And,
Yeah.
It's tough, but
yeah, it's been a rough week, that's for sure. But I'm glad we got to come on here and, tell some stories and tell our experiences and just, say how great it was to work with him and just to have him as a friend,
Yeah, man. Ammo forever, right? That's what
Ammo forever.
That's what you got going on right now.
All right, let's jump into not an easy transition, but let's jump into our
now. I'm
going
to start crying again if we keep going. So
into our next topic here. So, I mean, speaking of, Ammo's a great promoter, and we like to try to tell our DJs as much as we can that like, you got to promote, and we talk at the end of every year, like, this is how you got to attack your social media. And, you're very good at this. And I don't think we're seeing DJs promote enough at all. Right. Like, I think there's like okay, I'm going to put my post up, and I'm guilty of this. I'm going to put my post up day of the event or like 2 days before the event, and it's just not enough. But it's not just your events, it's also your music. Like I've said this time and again when Nico and Sway put out that Everybody Wants to Rule the World remix, and they were just hammering it. It had to be like 15 to 18 main feed posts on their Instagram. And of course it blew up, and of course it took off because they were really hammering. They believed in that song. So like when you're if you're going to work on a song for a month or whatever it might be, you're going to put all this work and all these hours in. How are you not going to hammer people with that song? Story after story, post after post on everything. People should be sick of it before it comes out, and we don't see that. We don't see that enough with music. That blows my mind the most because you're putting your heart and soul into songs that you're creating, and then you're going to do this lackluster social media push on it is pathetic. And then from a booker standpoint, the fact that you're getting fed gigs and you're going to put something up 2 hours before you go to your gig is fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. So, and especially with us, like we have 60 guys that we book regularly. I can't tell you if X person is in Philadelphia or Y person is up in Boston or somebody's down in Florida. I love that. I love when something rolls across my social media and it's like one of our close DJs. And it's like, oh, I'm in Tampa. Or it's like somebody I know. I'm like, I'm 45 minutes away. Like, I didn't know that. You never posted anything about that.
Right.
So like, I think the moral of what my beef is that like promote more. Like if you're trying to be on the come up and you're trying to advance your career, you really need to promote more everywhere, constantly. It's a full-time job. We know that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think we could sort of break it down for the various different things you touched on. The first one being just promoting big shows. Promoting any show, honestly, especially if you're a younger DJ, it's important that other people see that you're working, right? So a rundown weekly, like, hey, this is where I'm going to be this week. Put it in your bio and Instagram. There's so many ways that you can promote what you're doing because right now and forever, it's always been important for you to help push a party and get more people out, right? If you're getting your friends to come out, managers, owners, venue people will see it because they're using your guest list. They're buying a ticket with your name. And those people are going to want to book you more if you're really supporting and pushing the party and helping make it a successful night. venues want to work with people that want to make it successful and want to put as much time as energy as they hopefully are putting into making it successful. So whether it's just promoting your local stuff or if you're booking bigger shows or especially travel shows, just because you post it one time, like, I don't even see it. I say to you all the time, like, Garrett, I didn't even know you were DJing there, or I didn't know this party was this weekend.
Right.
I sent messages to some of our DJs who have been traveling lately and be like, yo, I didn't even know you were going there. Like, you need to do a better job of making it aware to your followers that you're traveling, because as bookers see you're traveling, they'll be more likely to think of you to book you from another market. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Kareem's traveling more. Like, let's book him for this gig that's upcoming. Like, people, it's a what have you done for me lately, or what have I seen lately? So if you're really active on social and you're hammering, hey, like, I'm playing Barstool Nashville this summer, right? It's about the second I get that flyer, and even before that, I'm going to be hammering that. That's a huge show for me. The first time I'm playing there, I want everybody in the country to know that I'm playing Barstool Nashville.
Right.
Because hopefully other bookers in places in markets I haven't played yet see that and say, oh, damn, Kareem is booked at Nashville Barstool.
Right.
Like, we should book him in my city or my big venue. And it goes for in market as well, guys. If you're playing more bars and you're starting to book the bigger bottle service club or high end venue club in your city, make sure other people know that you're getting booked there, because then the other bookers are going to say, oh, damn, number one club in my market is booking XYZ DJ. Maybe we should book him or her too.
Right.
So hammer the big shows, hammer the monthly flyers. You're not doing too much, guys. And you don't have to just use the flyer. Get creative. Talk in a video. Use a photo. Use a video of you DJing somewhere else that is just fun. There's a million ways. You could literally be cooking in your kitchen and promote your show. However the fuck you want to do it,
right.
Just
it doesn't
do
matter.
it.
Right.
Just do it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to overthink it.
I saw Marty Rock yesterday promote his weekend, and he was just standing behind his turntables like a front shot and just did his rundown and like talked a little bit about each gig, and it was phenomenal. And I'm like, what? This is so simple. Why does everybody not do this? This caught my attention.
It could be, you could be in your car in traffic and you shoot a quick video. Like, it can be so simple. It's a lack of, I think people sort of are sick of posting and seeing and promoting flyers. And I think so instead of getting creative and doing other things, people just don't promote as much anymore.
Right.
And that's contributing to less people going out, I'm sure.
I'm gonna spin this on its head a little bit, because I had a complaint from one of our DJs that does a good job at promoting every single gig that he plays. He was disgruntled that he makes the flyer, he puts it out, he tags the bar staff, he tags the place, and nobody reposts it, nobody comments on it, nobody's engaging
for sure
from the venue, and he was just completely disgruntled. And I was like, don't stop doing it because you're upset that they're not posting it. But maybe next time you're in the venue, approach the manager, ask who the social media manager is, ask who's taking care of the socials, go talk to the bartenders and be like, hey, it would be much appreciated when I tag you in this, that you throw it in your story, at least like it, engage a little bit. Let's kind of create a little buzz behind the nights that I'm promoting. It'd be greatly appreciated. You don't have to don't come at them disgruntled. Don't come at them mad or anything like that, but you just let them know that you're aware that they're not contributing, right? And if they're not going to contribute, well, they're not going to put dollars in their pocket. And that goes for the owner, the manager, and the bar staff. So I think if that's happening to you, that's the way to approach that situation. Don't just shut it down.
I'm going to kick some free game to you guys right now. Use this as a way to show value to your venues, especially if you're creating marketing content for the venue. This is also especially for DJs that are in the same venue over and over. And if they're not creating flyers or not doing a ton of marketing, approach the owner or the manager and say, hey, I have this idea. I've been creating a lot of content for social. It would be great if when I created that content, the venue shared and some of the staff shared. Can you get me a list of all the venues, the staff members, their Instagram handles? And I'll create an engagement group on Instagram. So every time I create a marketing piece, I will post in that engagement group, hey guys, I just created a new piece of content for this Saturday. I'm really hyped to be there. Let's blow it up. Let's let's share, let's comment, whatever. And then you have 10 people reposting and tagging and commenting and pushing this piece of content, hopefully in a better place in the algorithm. Does that actually work? Who knows? I don't know. We do it for Get Down and for Ferrari, but I've seen success with it. And I think it's a way to show value to your venue. It's a way for your manager or owner to think of ways that they don't have to do a whole lot, right? Especially if you're doing all this stuff.
Right.
Just like, hey, can you make me this list and I will help you promote your venue,
Simple.
It's taking something off their plate. It's showing value. Maybe they never even thought about doing something like this,
Yeah, no, I guarantee that a lot of older ownership and if you have older management, they're not thinking about this because it's just not something that they knew. It's not something they're used to, and especially if they're not forward thinking.
Right. If you're a resident that plays the same place every week, make a group chat and use the group chat. You should take the lead. Take a little initiative and step up. Right. Again, just showing ways to show more value and also promote and have the people in the venue promote at the same time. So it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win for you. You hopefully get more people in the venue. You show more value. It's a win for the venue and for the staff because hopefully more people show up and they make more money. We all want the nights to be good, right?
Right. We used to have text groups. Remember that back in the day before Instagram? You had text groups, and then you would have put like a promo text together, and then those people would send it out to their regulars, and we'd send it out to our regulars. And
of course,
but that's the stuff that doesn't translate to some of these managers that like they've been around since those things were a thing, like, but they just didn't translate that into the social media world, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's great advice. I like that. I mean,
one other thing I want to bring up before we move on to the music part of it. I think there's been such a negative connotation about like selling tickets or selling bottles or now listen, if that's how you're going to get paid, maybe that's not something that makes sense for you depending on where you are in your DJ career. If you're just starting out and you're a young DJ and you have a lot of friends that come out, sure, take all those deals. Why not? Again, if you're bringing a lot of people, you're selling tickets, and you could also DJ, they're just going to keep booking you. So don't be like completely turned off by that. Do you want to get a flat rate and get paid what you're worth? Of course. But sometimes you have to go sell a bunch of tickets or sell a table to show some value to give you an opportunity to then show what you can do as a DJ. I think there's such a negative connotation out there. It's okay to do that sometimes. It's okay to do that sometimes. And your business is your business, and what makes sense for you makes sense for you. And maybe that doesn't make sense, and that's okay. Right. For someone like me, does it make sense to go book something where I get paid based off of ticket sales? No, it doesn't, because I'm playing a lot of big shows and getting paid what I want to get paid already.
Right.
And I want to keep that. I want to keep that level in the market, right? I want to keep my value at a certain place.
But we've had guys that were, half established, but wanted to break into a venue, were able to sell tickets. They knew that their friends would come, not tickets. I'm sorry. They were able to sell tables. Their friends would show up for them. And that person wound up going from an opener to a headliner in that venue, in a short period of time, because the venue knew that he can bring people. So on certain days that they knew that they might be a little slow, well, guess who was going to headline that night? It was going to be that person that could bring people, because they were solid DJs and they could bring a crowd because they were of that age that had pull like that.
Now, also, just because I've reached a certain level and other DJs listening, you've reached a certain level, doesn't mean you shouldn't promote the party. You shouldn't try to sell tickets, and you shouldn't try to get people to buy bottles. Like, that's part of our job at this point. It's been part of our job for pretty much my whole career. So anyone complaining about that, that's just part of what you've signed up for. And if you get good at that, you're going to get booked more.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about that part of it too, because there is such a negative connotation around that part of our business. And I think there's a way to think positively about it and use it to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Music. Now, you said it earlier.
It's frustrating the most.
Drives me nuts also, right? As Gary said, if you're spending months and months to create some piece of content musically, whether it's an edit pack, a mix, especially remixes and originals, you should spend about the same amount of time promoting that leading up to the release and then after the release. There have been so many times where DJs in our group, Thursday or Friday, hey guys, I have a release coming out today. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, we have a Discord where all these DJs use it, right? Get the pre-saves, like, promote your shit. That part is crazy to me. Go look at what Flash, shout to Flash, he came out with a remix or a track recently, and every time I open TikTok, all I see is his song, and he does an amazing job marketing, and his stuff is this. It's not fancy camera, it's not microphone, it's literally him in front of the camera, very simple and easy, and he's crushing right now. So go check out what Flash does. I think he does an amazing job.
Yeah.
I don't want to see my track came out today, and this is the first time I ever heard that a song was coming out, especially if you work for Get Down. Crazy.
Manny and Zay's track is coming out, and I thought it was out already. They had promoted it a bunch initially. It got signed. It went quiet a little bit, and then who played it somebody played it on their mix show recently. And then they're starting to promote it again because it's about to come out. But they've been doing a pretty good job at it as well in different ways. It does help that there's two of them being able to push this. But, that's a great example by you, is like, go find people that you look up to, go find people that are doing a good job at promoting their music. And, you can kind of emulate. You don't have to copy, but you can emulate what they're doing, get ideas from people. We say this all the time when it comes to marketing.
Yeah. And take from all the various people that you think are doing a good job, or that you think you want to sort of tailor your marketing towards, and create your own thing.
Yeah.
Come up with a plan. You have to have a plan. Even if I don't have a plan, I just don't post anything. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So come up with a plan, spend a day creating whatever you need to create, and then you have it and you could post it.
Yeah.
I've been out of it for 2 weeks, so I haven't really seen a whole lot about recent releases and what's going on, but I will catch up here in the near future.
Right.
So, all right. So we talked about like the positive side and promoting and promoting your events and promoting your music. I want to talk a little bit about the industry right now, and this is going to be sort of against everything I've just said, but what I've said is with the idea that you have DJ skills and you can do a good job as a DJ, right?
Right.
I think what is really hurting our industry right now is influencer DJs and promoter DJs who are getting booked simply because of their marketability and their marketing.
Right.
And then when those people actually get into the venue, they don't do a great job. And the customers who paid money, waited in line, bought a table, they don't get the best experience because the music was like, it was just okay. How was it? I had to wait in line. I spent a lot of money and the music was just okay.
Right.
If that's the experience that a customer is getting, how likely are they to go back and spend that money and do that all over again? I think way less likely. And I think that's a big contributor to why we've seen a downturn in our industry as a whole. Not the only reason, but one of the contributing factors.
I was going to say it's a factor. It's a factor for sure, and especially for those people that are like on the cusp of like, do I really want to spend my money here? Or would I rather go out? Like I'm talking like as you get a little older and you're like, do I want to go out to dinner? Right? Like I still want to go clubbing, but if I have to choose between the two and I go out one night and the night's terrible, the music's terrible, and I spent more money than I would have at the restaurant, well, guess what I'm doing next week? I ain't going back to that place, and I'm probably not going back to that place anytime soon. Right. So venues are often short-sighted because they're trying to bring in people while also trying to save money in the entertainment. Because what is the biggest cost of the night? Entertainment. Whether that be a band, whether that be a DJ, whether that be any extra entertainment that you have in the room. That's your biggest cost of the entire night, and it's by far your biggest expense, and that person's making more money than every person in the room. Even though the bartender's not an expense to the venue itself, oftentimes these days the entertainment's making more money than the bartender. That was not the case 10 years ago, right? And 15 and 20 years ago. Bartenders had been making $400 and $500 for 20 years, and the DJs were still making 350 back in, the 80s.
Yeah.
But things have shifted, and now more is expected of the DJ. But in lean times, you see ownership trying to cut corners. How can I bring people in? And, how can I pay them less? How can I pay the entertainment less? And the industry as a whole hurts for it. Oftentimes, the ownership's not looking at this as a long play. Right. And it is a long play. It can affect for example, we saw this happen at one of our venues on a specific night, and all of a sudden, 3 months into that night was gone. That night still doesn't exist, and it's not coming back because the DJ that they had put on because they wanted to save a couple bucks was bad, straight up. Right? Took us out of there and put a bad DJ on. And that night doesn't exist. And that night had existed for a very long time. I get it. Times change. I understand that. But you know what? You put good talent in a place, and at least you'd still have a night. You'd be making money at least.
Yeah.
It can go sour quick. And I think it's completely overlooked.
I think on a smaller scale, when we play the promoter DJ game, right? Sure, a promoter DJ maybe could bring 25 people, let's say, which is great. But if that person can't DJ, you're going to lose the 150 people that walk in and hear that DJ for an hour. And like at that point, would you rather have kept that 150 and the DJ brought zero? Like it's a math game here. Like I don't. So
it's simple math.
On a local, smaller scale, like that part of it, I'll never understand, right? Because who cares if the DJ can't keep your room of all the people that show up? What's the point if they could bring 25 or 30 people? Because nobody's bringing more than 25 or 30 people. Like, right. I don't care what anybody says. That's like a max.
Yeah, it's probably, unless you're like college. Now,
or
are you
like
seeing this?
Or it's your first time DJing, and how does that help a venue, you know? Like, I brought a shit ton of people the first time I DJ, but I was terrible.
Yeah. Question: are you seeing this when you travel, or like when you're traveling, you're headlining, and the residents like opening?
No, I'm not seeing that necessarily.
Okay.
There's certain places that are like, your DJ slot is based on how many tickets you sell. Like I've heard that in New York recently.
Yeah.
I've heard, you get paid based on how many people you bring, kind of thing. Like, it's happening for sure.
It's going to continue to happen because people are really cutting corners everywhere. As rent rises, and it is, because we have friends and we know people that were owners of bars and nightlife spots that have had to close down because rents are just rising and rising and rising. It's becoming ridiculous. So what has to get cut first is, what is your biggest expense, like I said, and that's where you look to cut corners. And then unfortunately the overall product suffers for it. So
with the influencer DJs, I think, like, because they can sell a lot of tickets and bring a lot of people out, I understand the allure, right? It's a big social media opportunity and whatever. Yeah. But like, that person DJs for an hour, and you better make sure the bookends, whoever you have booked to DJ, is like Rick Wonder level local DJ, or regional DJ, national DJ, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's got to be somebody really good that can pick up the slack and really set the tone before that person goes on, and then really pick it up the second they're done, because we can't expect most of these DJs to be as good as the best open format or EDM DJs that are playing all over the place right now.
Yeah. Those are just appearances, and they just so happen to kind of loosely know how to DJ, right? They're just appearances.
Right. Instead of hosting, those people are now also DJing and making 10K or 20K or whatever crazy number they're making right now.
Well, that was like, when Paris Hilton and whatever AM's girlfriend's name was at the time, I forget, and they were making $30,000 an appearance to just sit there and do nothing, but like, so at least they're doing something at this point,
right?
They're taking up an hour of the DJ slot and they can make their $15,000. But Yeah, I understand. I understand booking those people. I understand wanting to pack your place out because otherwise, maybe your place isn't packed, right?
Right.
So you pay that person $10,000, $15,000, and you fill your room full of girls, and then that's obviously going to bring guys to the place. And then, like you said, bookend the DJ, bookend that social media star or whatever with decent talent, and this way you can make money after that person's off of set. So like that portion of it is important, but I I don't like it, but I understand it in the especially with the state of kind of
Yeah, I
nightlife and
agree.
where everything is.
You just have to be really selective, and you have to know who you're bringing in. And like I said, you have to be really smart about who you book around that person.
Yes, definitely.
I think because the prices of these higher end DJs, all the DJs that actually like really sell hard tickets are so fucking expensive.
Yeah,
They are so expensive.
it's gotten crazy.
It's just gotten to a point where like they're sort of like blowing out the market because they're so expensive. It makes it so hard to make money, or for maybe B market, C market places to bring in higher end talent because the prices are so crazy. It's just really hard to do and have a successful night.
There is such a gap between like your A tier and then like your even like your B tier. I feel like in the DJ world.
You have to catch artists on the come up and get them on the cheap.
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
what you have to be smart and you have to get lucky, and that's how you can be a B or C market or be Birch, right? Because we talked about doing stuff at Birch where like we have to catch somebody on the way up because people, guys and girls will go from being a $2,500, $3,500 act to 10 grand real quick, you know?
Do we have is there a place that stands out in your mind that curates that type of DJ really well week after week, where they're like the go-to spot to see the next big DJ? Where like like I'm thinking about it from like an indie rock point of view back in the day, where I'd be like, I can hit the Bowery Ballroom almost every other weekend and see the next big band.
Yeah.
You know, like that was the spot.
I think
So, like,
Eric and Angelo at Trio do a good job of that. But
yeah, they do actually.
But they're also like they're bringing in that talent, that level talent, but then also bringing in like Cascade and Deadmau5 and you know the biggest of big DJs as well. So
right, which you could have that once in a while, and that's fine because you're not you're not going to blow out your budget, you know, once a month. They might do that every quarter,
yeah,
or half, you know, because I feel like I'm just doing like a 1-to-1 with Bowery Ballroom because they, like I said, they did such a good job with it. And like every once in a while you'd get like this sneak show, like Vampire Weekend would do an album release in there. And that was like a huge deal. Right. And then that kept them on the map and relevant to the more, how would you say, like mainstream fan. So I feel like we can use a Trio type place in our market to where you can see up and coming DJs, and up and coming DJs are being brought in. The only problem with that is we'll go back to what we said before, is that rents are so high that it becomes very difficult to do that and then do your Deadmau5 thing and still maintain a profit at the end of the day. It's almost impossible. And that's kind of why we don't really see that all that often. It's a shame.
It's just the pricing is getting crazy. And like I'm all for free open market and like DJs should make as much money as they can possibly make. Like absolutely.
Right.
But the high prices are also contributing to making it a lot tougher to bring talent in and make it business wise make sense.
Yeah.
I almost think that like the high end, best of the best, open format, read the room, been through it a long time DJs are where the best value is. Like if you book all those guys, you can keep your place humming, you know?
I agree. We have a lot of that in our market. We're really lucky to have that. Guys that do travel, but that are from our market that are still able to do the open format thing.
Yeah, I mean, Encore, Rick Wonder, Chachi, like
Miami has that too. They have a lot of
book
good, really
all those
great
guys
talent
every week. You're going to be all right.
Right. And I'm thinking about what's Obscene's group with what's his name?
Conflict, RM,
Obscene, fantastic.
You know, yeah.
Miami and then, you know, the Boston circuit's got a nice group like that as well. And yes, Those are three really good markets that have really great open format DJs that can also lean into, like you lean into a bass house, and Rick has his style, and I think it's super important, especially with the just kind of the just how the industry is, and like how people like to go out. Like, oh, you need to read a room still, right? It's in some capacity.
No, I
It's
think
still,
reading a room is the ultra most important thing right now,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the slower places, those DJs will make you more money every single time. They will keep
absolutely.
your room. They'll start a party. They'll finish a party. Those DJs will make you the most money. They're the
So,
most value for your dollar, for sure.
so what you're saying is, like, when those guys are home in market, those guys are 100% book them. I don't care whatever they want to get paid to an extent. Book them
Would
in an
you
in
rather
market rate.
have Encore for market rate or Encore for double market rate, let's say out of market, or the $3,000 soft ticket act?
Yeah, no, give me Encore, pay him a little bit more money, and I could save money on the other end. That's fine. Because that $3,000 DJ unfortunately doesn't draw. Just doesn't. And that's
Right.
why I said before, there's such a gap between the A list and even that being a C list, let's say. Right? Because you have like maybe a 3 to 5,000, then you maybe have a 10 to 15,000, then you have like your whatever, 50 to 100,
Right.
right? There's such a huge gap into recognition by the layman person, right? Like, yeah, sure, everybody knows Martin Garrix and everybody knows John Summit, but like not everybody knows that $3,000 to $5,000 DJ. So is he really moving the needle? So
Right.
give me that Encore at double market rate, and I'll
Right.
save the money, and I'm gonna have a great night. I'm gonna probably turn, I don't know, 30% more in profit at the bar. Give me that all day.
Right. I just think that is from a business standpoint, the best way to book talent right now. Now, can you go do a hard ticket show every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every month? Absolutely. I think you need to do that to keep things interesting and keep your customers coming back and do something new and fun and exciting. I think that's important too.
100%. Having a talent booker that knows this stuff in and out is so important. And we bring up Eric so much on this show. It's funny, but that's why, like, we sat at dinner with him, and he had somebody working for him at the time. I forget her name, but like they were just talking about all types of DJs that I had never heard of that were on the come up. They do their homework and make sure they connect with people like an Angelo, who can be the resident and be the glue and be an amazing at home in market DJ and hold that room together when they don't have bigger acts in. So like they have the art of booking down so nicely. It's so important.
Their biggest thing is they hire staff that loves EDM. And
Yeah, he said
that's
that.
so important. If they love the music, they want to be there, And even when they're working, it's fun because they get to hear DJs that they want to hear. And that's so, so, so important.
So smart. It's a great way to hire. I mean, you're a music first venue. That's what you're selling. You're selling the music. So you have to be on top of it. Like
Right.
that.
And if your staff's
All
having
day,
a good
you gotta
time, your
live it.
customers are more likely to have a good time,
Yeah. We say that all the time.
Yeah.
But you got to live it as a booker. You can't half-ass it, or else you're going to have just a half-ass venue. And I feel like that's what happens a lot of the time. It's just a disconnect. It's unfortunate.
I think we're at a point at Birch where we're booking a lot of these local traveling DJs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying to figure out, like, how can we sort of do both, right? How can we bridge the gap? How can we? It's hard. It's really hard to pinpoint the talent that makes sense to bring in and spend the money on.
Yeah. I
It's
think
hard.
your sound grid party maybe like once a quarter doing like a little bigger act gives good exposure, like keeps the at home, the big in market DJ there, but then also introduces your SoundGrid patrons to that level up of DJ. And this is, hey, okay, when you get to see I don't know, like let's say if you get to see a me on and then that $5,000 DJ, like, oh, well, that's why that guy gets $5,000. It's hard to see when it's, okay, well, I see an opener and then that $5,000 DJ. It's like, okay, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
But when you get to see like the in-market guy, the guy, and then that next level up, you're like, okay, well, that's why he's in the next level up.
Right.
And I think that exposure to your fan base, having that will sell you more tickets next time.
Right. You have to sort of lead the customers down a path. It can't be like, hey, we opened this new place and no one's ever been here, and now we're going to book $20,000 DJs. And it's like, all right, but nobody even has ever been there or experienced a night there. So like,
right.
I don't know. It's weird. We're on the opposite end where people know our brand and have been there before, and we've been around for a little bit. So they know what they're going to expect. But now how can we elevate that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's exposing those. You have to get them in the door first, right? So you have this thing like a sound grid. You get that, pulls them in, and then you show them why they should come back for that next level up DJ.
That was always sort of the plan, is right. Like, let's make this like really EDM forward event, really house music forward event, and get some customers to know, like, hey, when we have SoundGrid, this is the type of vibe that we're going to get, and we want to find those fans, right? And then now that we've done 5 or 6 of them, now it's like, all right, let's start bringing in some bigger talent and upping the experience a bit.
Yeah. And that's when you could hard ticket sell. And that's how everything levels up.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
I think this is a great place to wrap.
Yeah.
Anything we have to promo? I know we have, what do we have promo? We have the Get Down and Friends edit pack just dropped.
Yes.
Crazy people on that thing.
There's all too many to list. Go check
it
out.
But all your favorite Get Down DJs and a ton of your favorite editors from all over the place. Some great edits on that pack.
It's on our SoundCloud. The links are on our Instagram, Get Down DJ group.
Yep.
TikTok, it's being promoted over there. So wherever you can find a link we can throw it in a link here.
I think right now, we'll put it in the show notes, but you could definitely find it on Get Down Instagram at Get Down DJ Group. Also, Get Down Radio. We've been pumping out some Get Down radios. Big shout to Germ, who we released actually today. When you're hearing this, it'll be a couple days old. Yep. But go check out Get Down Radio. We're trying to put out 1 or probably closer to 2 per month of those now, and really highlight some of the DJs we're working with, some DJ friends.
Shout out to Marco from Two Face, who's handling that for us. He does a great job for us, and he's been really adamant about getting more Get Down radios out. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to Get Down Radio, please go subscribe to that wherever you grab your music or your podcasts. You can find us all over the place. Parties. Next week, we have Club Cafecito in Jersey City. If you guys are local, at the Ashford on the Roof. We did it last month, so that's going to be January 19th. January. That's where my head's at. July 19th, Saturday. We're going to start at 3 p.m. We'll have our free salsa lessons around 4 p.m. Dramos will be doing a classic salsa all vinyl set, which was super dope last time. We were quickly reminded why we don't do vinyl on Serato anymore. Because that turned into all hell, but that was all good, all in good fun. We had a great turnout there. We had Cafe Aroma provided the espresso for free, so don't be shy. Go grab some espresso if you stop by. And then we had a local rum company come in, and they were mixing amazing drinks at the bar.
Sick.
I'm not just saying that. Like, I'm a drink junkie when it comes to cocktails. So good. So come support the event. Aldez and Dramos will be DJing. And you have all those other good features. So, anything else?
I think the last thing I'll say is just go show some love to Ammo and his family.
Yes.
Anywhere that you could support, comment, like. I think that's the best way until, his family lets us know any other ways that we can help support. So,
yeah, you can keep an eye out on our pages. We're going to promote everything and anything we can for them.
Absolutely. Ammo forever, baby.
Ammo forever. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, peace.
We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.